Right, welcome to part two. We've been talking about the year, we've been talking about the fact it's a very karmic year, so be careful, what goes around comes around, and it definitely will. If it's going to end any year, it'll be this year, okay? So being kind and being loving, no matter what somebody has done to you, no matter what injustices there have been. And we just talked a little bit about the fact that it's not really fruitful telling people things, trying to defend yourself and stick up for yourself. It's not likely to be heard at the moment because of Mercury being in retrograde, which going backwards, but it's not really going backwards, but it just means that your communication isn't received, misunderstood perhaps. So we're going to do a few cards and have a little look and see what's coming up. There seems to be that, so families are an important space and place, and if you're going through life changes, maybe it's because of family, but maybe it's because of other things. However, your family is your support unit in some ways, and I understand dysfunctional families. I understand not getting on with other family members. What I'm saying is that they are still your support because they are the foundation for your life. They are the people who actually have given you a start in life, whether they did it wonderfully or inadequately. You picked your mother and you picked your father, whether they were present or not. You picked them, and maybe it was for the biological side of things. But it was for more than that as well. It was for the personality and characteristics, for you to improve on the models, if you like. And I've said it before, it took me a very, very long time when I read Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life. And I read that I had picked my mother and I'd picked my father. I was horrified. I was absolutely mortified because I could see what not to do, or what they'd taught me how not to be, which was good because that meant I had learnt, but it took me a long time to realise that that's what I'd done. I'd actually learnt it. They'd taught me how to be a better person, a better mother, a better everything. And doesn't mean that I did it though. One little example, when I was a child, I just wanted a hug. I would have loved to sit on my mother or father's knee and have a hug, just a hug. And I don't remember ever being able to have the hug side of things. So when I became a mother, do you think that I did a lot of that? I can't remember with my first child, but I actually had my second child who was so needing me, so not wanting to let me out of her space, that she would cry all the time whenever I did anything. I made a tape one day to let my husband know how difficult it was for me to do any chore around the house, because every time I left her, she cried and cried and cried. And so in her way, she was letting me know she needed to be hugged. Young mother, I'm pretty clueless, seriously. Sometimes it takes a long time for me to get the message. I get messages all the time, but it takes quite a long time sometimes for things to sink in. But the one thing that she would always do as she got a little bit, into her 3s and 4s and 5s, is that she'd always come and give me a hug. She just needed a hug. So I'd start giving the hugs. And it dawned on me that that's what I wanted as a child. So it became less of a stress for me that she needed me around so much, and easier, because if I'd have just given her a hug and hugs from the beginning, she wouldn't have been so anxious and she wouldn't have needed me to that extent. So slow learner, I am a bit of a slow learner. I because I was a rebel as well and had my own thoughts about how to do things, even though I was told, always told, from God what to do. So she taught me to hug, and I remember telling both my parents at one point, and as they were older, a lot older, that that's all they had to do with each other. They couldn't have very, very close contact. But the hug, they understood, and they could do that. Sometimes it's just to touch people. Sometimes it's just feeling somebody else's skin on your skin. A hand, holding someone's hand, it's magic. So, family is your foundation, and if you don't have that foundation, you really feel a little bit more afloat, lost. And I understand if it's healthier not to be around family members, absolutely. They still are your foundation. They still, if they weren't there, you still would feel a little, I don't know, rocky, like something was missing maybe, or just not quite everything, until you became fully confident in yourself, self-aware. We said about knowing yourself before, knowing what you can do, and really embracing all your learning, all the people in your life, thanking them for everything that they've given you, because even the most dysfunctional of people that are close to you biologically do something. They give you something. Sometimes it takes a bit to discover what that might be. But family seems to be a key thing. I've got 2 cards that have come out. One is 4 of Wands, which is family, and the other is the Magician, which is your ability to bring people closer together in your family, to have more peaceful, harmonious relationships with people. And sometimes it's a soft voice. Sometimes it's just saying, hey, how are you? And just doing that every now and again over a period of time, even if it takes a year, 2 years, it will make a difference. It will bring that person closer to you in some way. They might contact you, do you know, even if they never wanted to talk to you ever again. Kindness, love, caring will bring you everything this year. Emotional reactions can be a bit destructive this year. We started talking about that before, so I'm just talking a little bit more about that now. So I'm going to have a little look at the cards, hoping they're not coming through the mic too much as I shuffle them. But just having a little look for you, and it's general, of course, it's general. But the cards can sometimes say, if you have been, like this one, it's 2 of Swords crossed, right? So firstly, that is sometimes you can't decide what to do, this or this. Yes, I'm going to do this, and then you pull yourself back type of thing. It's when you're not really able to look clearly at clear direction. It is a feeling like there's nothing you can do. And it indicates that if you have been stuck, if things haven't been happening, if there have been delays in your life or setbacks to the things that you've been looking to do, especially if it comes to communication, if there's been things that have been misunderstood, it's saying that it's starting to turn around now. If you have had things flowing your way and everything's been going fine, expect that it might start to have a little bit of that stop-start scenario to it, a splutter. Like things might start to splutter instead of run smoothly. So we look again for you, and this is in general, so I'll just go ahead for the month. I won't go past the month, and we're in the month of April at this stage. this card came up before. For some of you, you will feel that you're beginning to get a bit more control back in your life, of yourself probably. This is what I can do. This is what I can tackle right now. This is what I will work on planning to do in the future. But for some of you, this also says it's kind of turned on its head a bit. It's like where you felt you were in control, it's now, hang on a minute. Was I seeing clearly? Was I on the right track? Am I only thinking of myself? And you actually must. If you're going through any kind of trauma or difficult situation in your life, first and foremost, you must look at you. You must deal with you. You must deal with your life, what works for you, what nurtures you, definitely what nurtures you. So if you're feeling like you've always been in control and all of a sudden you're not in control and things feel like they're not as clear, it's like, but I've always been onto it. And now what's going on? We would just say wait till May. We'd say wait till May. You may be actually being sort of like encouraged on an inner level to look at the decisions that you have made and the clarity you have done it with, and just regroup. Just wait. Firstly, wait, and then rethink your decisions. Rethink whether they actually were useful, good, effective decisions, because this is saying you've been so certain, but hang on, it's like there is something else going on and you need to rethink this. So just, rethinking is a good thing to do. So we'll still have a look. And I know we've only got a couple of weeks for April, but March, April have been big months. So let's just have a look and see what else there might be coming up for you in April. Very general, but what's coming up in April for the people viewing this now. And this goes beyond April, by the way. I'm just saying April because we're in it. But if you watch this at any other time, it's relating to that time as well. It's just kind of how the universe works. So, right, we have, this is quite good. So for some of you, there is travel in the future, and you may be planning that right now. Planning trips is a good thing to be able to do. It's saying that for a lot of you, your life will start moving, and maybe really fast. Maybe there's going to be a lot of things happening all at once. It's not chaotic. It's simply, things are flowing more smoothly. Things have started to happen. Could be a little bit of frustration. But why frustration? So it says that you could be feeling a little bit, frustrated, annoyed, upset, annoyed. And yet, it could work in your favour because there are new beginnings this in this time frame. So there's new opportunities, there's new money, there is a job that has good pay, it could be working for yourself, but even if it's working for someone else, it says put the feelers out for a job that is kind of a little bit outside your comfort zone, a job that maybe would take you overseas, a job that would kind of like make you kind of test your boundaries a little bit. It says feel the freedom of actually going to heck with it. I'm just going to give it a go. Go for a job you've never thought to get. There are jobs that have good pay attached to them. Perhaps if you're annoyed enough and upset enough about your life and the way things are going, then you'll take an opportunity you never would have before. It seems to be work. Mostly it comes with money. So consider that. Right, let's have another little look. I'm going to have a little look at the travel aspect for the future first and just see what else comes in around travel for the future for you. Because this seems to be very productive, but it's also not stressful. It's busy, but it's like you're in the groove instead of trying to fight your way upriver, which you can often feel like. So what are these cards around the travel and the future telling us? Firstly, they're telling us that if you have been unable to sleep, if you have had things on your mind and you've been overthinking your life and what's going on in your life, this says it's more of a freeing feeling. It's, yes, I can do this. Like, this isn't hard to do. It is, why have I been doing this for this long? We have the card that indicates that you've had a lot of heaviness around you with your responsibilities, with work, with home, with the things that are expected of you actually from society as well. And this says that there is a lessening of that. And I wonder in part if that's perhaps to do with the fact that you decide you can only do what you can do and that you don't stress about having to be everything to everybody or do all the things that you've been led to believe you must do or should be capable of, which is all bunkum in the modern world. We need to get back to the old world of reality where we know what a human being is capable of. We are not robots. We can never be robots. We always have the human part of us that will bring us back down to earth. Trip us up maybe. So let's have a little look again. Still, I'm looking at the travel. Isn't it funny? I'm seeing something about some of you thinking about going overseas, but it seems to be too problematic, or it seems to be that there's too many other things that you have to do that prevent you from going. And that as well is simply because you haven't given yourself permission. So if you can give yourself permission, that would help a lot too. But there's also anxiety. Is it the right thing? What about the money side of things? How will that work out? All I'll say to you is if you have opportunities overseas, they are there for a reason. The universe has this magical way of presenting us things we're ready for and giving us the things that help us the most. And I understand when it comes to chaos and trauma and crises, that seems to be the opposite. It seems to be everything we don't need. So in those moments, you must search for, so what is it about this situation that I do need? You will find something. You might still argue, but everything's fine. Why did it have to change? Because it did need to. So look further, deeper, see where the changes were needed. Address them where you can. Deal with the process. The process is the toughest. Our emotions get in the way and cloud everything so we can't see clearly. You do have to allow yourself to process. Safest way is what I always say, in the car, but talk to the person as if you're talking to the person. You are permitted to be angry. You are permitted to let off steam. You are permitted to stand up for yourself. Justice is a very tough thing around at the moment. Justice must happen, But people are not listening, they're not hearing. You have to stay in your truth. You have to know what the truth is yourself. And that's everything, by the way. It doesn't matter whether somebody knows that you are telling the truth. It really doesn't matter. That person at some point in time will come to understand the truth, see the truth, and you simply have to stand in the truth of the situation, of your experience, of what is true to you. And we talked a little bit about that last time, about truth, your truth, and the truth. So the truth always comes out because the universe must balance. There always has to be both sides, always, every time. And sometimes it can take a long time, unfortunately. It's because you've got something to learn in the meantime. The other people have something to process and learn as well. The universe is one of those kind entities, I suppose. It's an actual thing. But think of the creator energy, think of God, use whatever name. I use the universe, I use God, I use source, I use divine love, consciousness, collective consciousness. There's a lot of words that speak of the same energy that put us here in this body, in this environment. Something did. Even if you've had a baby, witnessing that whole process as a woman is different to witnessing that whole process as a man. As a woman, you have the benefit of every aspect that is going on of creation. Creation is happening in front of you, inside of you. It is miraculous. It is beyond words, beyond description. It takes time. And modern medicine helps us to see inside and to see the baby growing. Everything is creation. I kind of got off track again. Sorry, done that a couple of times today, but I have been going through my own personal stuff for the last couple of months, so my brain has little moments. It has little moments, we'll just say that. So there's also when I'm looking at the cards, everything that has come as a shock or a surprise to you, doesn't matter how it happened, was meant to be. It was meant to happen. It has a very important purpose in your personal life, in every aspect, actually, not just one aspect of your life, in your work, your family, your money, your personal, your health. It has been for all of those areas of your life, every single one of them. You have needed to reform, which hasn't quite happened yet, but it's in the process, reform new beliefs. These beliefs can be beliefs about yourself. They can be beliefs around your ability to do things. They can be new beliefs around work and how to work. I love the modern generation because they have shown us you do not have to work hard to get money, which is the way I was brought up. That is not a useful belief. So guess what? Crises in my life have been to help me shift some of those beliefs that I formed. And by the way, you form these beliefs at age 7. You form your core beliefs around money, relationships, men, women, your abilities, everything. You form those very firmly. They become like rocks inside you, building blocks actually, and anything that goes against those beliefs, it kind of really deeply affects you. So easy example always I give is politics and religion. Politics and religion were always the key triggers, and they triggered people because of their beliefs. Their beliefs were often handed down by their parents. And if you have some sort of shake-up or upset in your life where it's one of disbelief, then that is helping you to break that old belief down and then to reform your belief by looking at the points and parts of it that you are choosing to be of benefit and of help. And on everybody, there's not one single person on the planet that I know of that does not have a reevaluation moment. So it's a shock moment, it's a surprise moment, it's where we've always thought this, and then this happens, and it's like, seriously? What is that? Why did that happen? You know, it's the big shocks, the big surprises. And for a lot of people, that's been happening, particularly around March, April. So let's have a little look and just see quickly what else we've got for that the cards are going to see to us. And we're not getting very far with that one. I'm still just looking at the travel plans. For some of you, you need to travel because you're going to learn a lot of very useful things that will help you in your financial future. They will help you get a better job maybe, or just be a bit more diverse in what kind of work that you can do. This is about travel helping to make your life easier. So for some people, if you're going to travel for a job, for instance, it could be showing you a different way to work. It could be having a different cultural experience so that the things in your own culture that are difficult can be seen in the clarity of how important is it to do it this way, or is this in my life? How important is study, and having all of the degrees is a really kind of simple one because all of our early iconic world changers, light bulb person, Einstein, they didn't go to school. They didn't go to university. They went to school till they were around about 12. Einstein did go to university older, but it's like and there's so many of them that had to actually be part of the family, work for the family so the family could eat, but became very great world changers in their own right. And without the light bulb, we'd all been lost. But, he failed like 1,000+ times. Who would keep going? He did. I'm amazed. We wouldn't be where we are today without that. So, on that note, people, now I do readings, I do life coaching on different levels. If you have a situation you've been going through, I can help you make sense of it. There are all different aspects that I tune into intuitively, because part of my job is using my intuitive abilities to dissect problems and situations. So if you would like to come see me, my phone number is 027 4166 545, and I can do the readings by phone, Skype, video messenger, WhatsApp. They are the ways I've been doing it up until now. So you don't have to come and see me face to face, but you are very welcome to as well. And on that note, you are listening to Radio Hawke's Bay. This has been Life Coaching with Gail. Have a awesome, amazing, wonderful couple of weeks. I will see you back at the beginning of May. Namaste.
This program was produced by and first broadcast on Radio Hawke's Bay, your community access media station. Thanks to New Zealand On Air for making this type of programming possible.